the theme that I've been working on in my classes at the moment has been about the spine. And we can imagine that the spine has various different functions. On the one hand, as the central axis, it has a very stabilizing function. So we can regard the spine as almost becoming, well, as being very compact. We can imagine all of the forces that form the spine gather themselves inwards to make this very solid and compact and centered spinal column. On the other hand, the spine also has a very dynamic potential. It can help us to become very active. We know if we're very upright and we're feeling energetic, and we'll have a feeling of straightening up, almost of growing taller. You're probably all familiar with that feeling of finishing a yoga session and actually feeling taller and feeling lighter. So we could think of this opposite direction of activity in the spine, a direction of moving outwards and upwards from the center. And I'd like to focus on both of these aspects today. Alternately, we'll do some positions where we think in terms of this centering and stabilizing function of the spine, which we could describe as a centripetal activity. The centripetal direction is one that moves into a center. And these movements we can assign to the heart chakra, because the heart chakra is our central chakra. It stands for that quality of center. And the opposite direction of movement, which we'll do alternately with the centripetal direction, is the centrifugal, which moves up and out and encourages activity and growth and a more dynamic quality. And these movements we can assign to the solar plexus, the third chakra, which embodies very much these qualities of dynamic growth and opening out. So would you like to come into a standing position to start with? And we're going to start with the sunrise, and we're going to start with this centripetal movement. So we'll think of our energies centering in to the spine. And you're all familiar with this movement. We can come straight into it. We're going to hang down, and then we're going to glide up into the standing half moon. So if you'd like to take your feet together, and we'll start by hanging forwards, letting the breath flow. Feet very firm and solid. Upper body hanging. Shoulders relaxed, arms relaxed and hands, neck and head relaxed. And be aware of your breath. And now you can glide up through the space in front of you, take the arms up above the head, and now we're going to picture that centripetal gathering movement all along the spine, as if the spine draws itself in to become more solid. It can stretch up at the same time, but in doing so, we can picture the tightening all along its length. There is also the centrifugal movement outwards, but I'd like to focus really on this gathering it along. All the strength is gathered along the spine. Take the hands down. Let's do that 2 more times. Feet firmly on the ground. Legs can be gathered as well, so that everything about the body is drawn together. Roll down. Let the breath flow freely. And with a gentle quality of the breath, just pause so that you can start to draw your awareness in towards the body. And then flow upwards through the space, taking the arms up above the head. can start to picture that along the spine, particularly you might like to picture this thoracic part of the spine between the shoulder blades, gathering its strength inwards as if we're concentrating all our energies, tightening them. That helps us to lengthen upwards even more. Breath flowing. Opening the chest out a little bit. And taking the hands down gently by your sides. Free movement of breath. Let's roll down and hang forwards again. Firm feet and legs. Upper body really relaxed. Free breath. Just able to drop down a little bit further out of your hips if you're able to. And then flowing freely up, lengthening upwards, growing from the whole length of the spine, including the arms, but thinking particularly of this centripetal quality of tightening in, particularly at the region just behind the heart center on the spine. So that from that center, with a concentrated tightening, you can lift the heart up even further, opening it out. And take the hands down by your sides. So we could say that this centripetal activity of tightening in and this centrifugal activity of opening out work together. They help each other. So we're going to focus this time on the centrifugal activity as we do the sun prayer, focusing on the solar plexus, the third center, and how our movement streams outwards into the open space above us from that center. Come towards the front of your mat. Take your hands together. Take the arms up, and now picturing the centrifugal movement outwards from the third center towards the hands. Take the hands down and look down towards the ground. Take the right foot back, moving out between the legs, and then streaming upwards from the solar plexus right up through the arms to the fingertips. Then come into the plank, knees down, hollow the back, face down, slide along the ground and curl into the cobra. Push into the downward dog, with long spine. Take the right foot forward, rowing between the legs, moving up through the upper spine, through the arms to the fingertips, looking forwards with the neck, and the other foot forwards, coming up, lengthening up, and hands down. Once again, let's make sure that the head stays free and comfortable, so don't look up too much with your head. Lifting from the solar plexus and streaming up. Take the hands down, looking towards the ground. Left foot back. Opening up, so from the solar plexus, streaming upwards quite actively, centrifugal activity. Come into the plank, knees down, hollow the back, face down, slide along the ground. With the cobra in particular, you can open your solar plexus region forwards, your rib cage can push forwards, arms can be a little bit bent, shoulders down. Then come into the downward dog, with long back. Remain aware at the moment of your solar plexus region. Left foot forward. From the solar plexus, lengthening up through the arms up to the fingertips. And the other foot forward. Come up once again, breathing, lengthening up a little bit more, and take the hands down. When we're focusing on this centrifugal activity out of the solar plexus, the other parts, the legs and the head, play an important role in supporting that activity. Let's come into another round, making sure that our legs are really stable to support us. Hands together, the head is free and comfortable. And then out of the middle, we have that space, those conditions to really stream up and grow outwards. Come down, looking forwards. Firm feet. Right foot back, so really grow into the legs. If you actively grow into the legs, you've got a good anchor, and then you can more actively lift and grow out of your solar plexus. Fingers stay light, so there's space. Come into the plank, firm line, knees down, hollow the back, slide forwards. Now keep the legs and the pelvis, the pubic bone should be on the ground. So you've got an anchor, space around your head. The activity is in the middle, so the ribs can open out forwards. Then come into the downward dog. Again, you can have long legs. Good long legs gives a help to the spine to lengthen as well. Take the right foot forward. Once again, firm growth to form a good base. Take the arms lightly up. And then you can actively stream up and out from the middle. Take the hands down. Other foot forward, looking down towards the ground. And then a free swinging movement upwards, firm feet and legs. Lifting out of the middle and lightness with the arms and hands. Taking them down by your sides. Hands together. Take the arms up, breath flowing. Firm feet and legs growing a little bit more. Streaming right up high. Take the hands down towards, looking towards the ground. Left foot back. Form a good base. An actively streaming middle. Breath flowing. And then come into the plank. Knees down. Chest and face down. Slide along the ground. Keep the legs anchored. Head free. And think of that solar plexus, your rib cage pushes forwards. Then you can come into the downward dog, long legs, chest towards your knees, head free. Left foot forward. Good base. Lifting up. Streaming up through to the light fingertips, neck comfortable. Other foot forward, looking down. Come right up once again and grow. Breathing, lengthening up through, and take the hands by your sides. Do one more round, a bit faster, really thinking of this dynamic centrifugal streaming out. Hands together. Take the arms up and stream upwards. Come forwards, looking down. Right foot back. Growing into the legs, streaming right up high. Come into the plank. Take the knees down. Chest and face down. Slide along the ground. Curl into the cobra. Push into the downward dog, good long spine, right foot forward, growing right up into the half moon, other foot forward, come up once again, and lengthen and grow upwards, and take the hands down by your sides, hands together, arms up, streaming up. Looking forwards, Left foot back. Streaming right through. Come into the plank. Knees, chest and forehead down. Cobra. Triangle. Left foot forward. Streaming up high. Right foot forward. Come up once again and grow. And take the hands down by your sides. So we'll come to another centripetal movement now, a gathering in. Take your feet so they're quite wide apart, forming a good, stable, equilateral triangle. So you might be a little bit out of breath. You can just be aware of your breath and allow it to flow gently and naturally. It will gradually slow down. Take your hands to this open position so the palms are facing upwards, and become aware of your spine. So we're going to take the arms up, and we're going to look up towards the hands, unless you have trouble with your neck, in which case just keep it looking forwards, and grow. Spine lengthens, and then take the hands down. Very often when we grow, we can think of this centering movement in causes of growth because the spine is becoming thinner and longer. Everything's being gathered in and pushed up at the same time. Let's do that movement again with that picture. From outside inwards, the spine is being formed. We can take the arms up, we can grow and form it inwards and look upwards. Breath flowing, we're forming a central axis. Take the hands down again, roll down and hang forwards. Just being aware of your spine as the length, the central axis. Swing freely up through the space in front of you and come into the same position once again. Streaming up, looking upwards. Picturing the centripetal forces that gather inwards and center the spine. And then take the arms lightly out through the space around you. The arms form the periphery. They're very light and free. Let's do another movement like that, just to emphasize those light and free arms. They form a contrast to the spine. Let's come into another movement, taking the arms out. This time the palms are facing forwards, and you can come out like this, forming a good solid horizontal line with your spine, just thinking of it as being that firm central axis. The arms are peripheral. Then take the arms forwards and down towards the floor, so that now you can lengthen actively out. The spine again, the central axis, that is our thought. It's becoming lengthened, but also very centered. Arms gliding out forwards. You can look forwards as well towards your hands. Then relax down again. Take the arms maybe between your legs. Swing freely upwards through the space in front of you. And once again, you can grow upwards. You can look up towards the hands and make that centering movement along your spine. And the limbs lightly and freely, these peripheral limbs like wings coming down through the space around you. Breath flowing. And then another similar movement that we can do is this time with a twist. The arms are peripheral, they're light. The spine feels it's centering as you twist. And then back to the center again, the arms lightly out through the space. And the other side, light gliding free movement. You can twist. and back down again. Let's do this a couple more times. And the thought is the arms are light and peripheral. The spine forms the center. It gathers all its energies inwards to form a center. Let the breath flow. Come back again. Imagine the spine all along its length. Particularly you can think of the upper sections which get so neglected from the middle upwards, that there's a tightening happening. And back again, and take the arms gently down and just roll down once again and hand forwards. And come back up. So keeping the feet apart in the same position, we'll come to the twisted triangle, which now combines this hanging down with the twisting movement. But this time we're taking our attention back to the solar plexus and to this thought of a centrifugal streaming outwards. So you all know this position, so we can do it straight away. We're going to stream from the solar plexus out into that top arm as we come into the twisted triangle. Firm legs forming the base. Lifting from the solar plexus, gliding around into the movement and streaming from the solar plexus right up through the arm, looking up at the top hand. And then come back again. And gliding around to the other side, hand down, twisting from the middle, streaming up to the top arm. Come back, let's stay with our mental picture, a centrifugal streaming out from the third center. Lift and come all the way down through the open space, streaming upwards, looking up at the top hand. Breath flowing. Come back again, lifting and streaming down to the other side, hand down, twist from the middle and stream up towards the hand, and then come back again. Wide open movement with the arms, and take the hands gently down by the sides. And close your legs. We'll come back to another heart center position, and this is the tree. So for the tree, I think you probably all know the different foot positions. I'll just show you. You can either put your toes on the ground, you can put one foot against your leg, or wedge it right up against your thigh, or you can turn the, sorry, not like that. You can turn one foot to face right upwards. And I think you all know the arm movement. I'm going to show you first because it's difficult to balance when you're watching a screen. Take the hands to the heart center. I find it easiest just to have my eyes gently cast downwards to find the balance. But we're going to have as our focus again today, this centering in along the spine, so we feel a good, solid, upright axis of our spine. So you come into an upright standing position. Be aware of your spine, shoulders relaxed. Take your foot. You need to make sure you've got arm space actually to spread out. So take one foot into your chosen position. Come back to that picture of your spine, a centered, upright spine. The arms come out to that peripheral position and they center in. You turn into a center. Let's remain aware of the spine as our central axis as we hold this position. Spine is the central axis. It symbolizes ourself. Take the hands down and the foot down. Keep a good upright spine. Take the other foot up. Take the arms out into the space around you. The arms are peripheral, and now the hands connect at the center. Take the awareness back to the spine, and that picture that centripetal forces draw inwards and make the spine centered and solid and stable. It supports us. It's our central supporting column. Take the hands down and the foot down. And let's finish off with one final exercise where we can stream out in a centrifugal direction with the triangle from the solar plexus again. Take your feet wide apart into this triangle. Be aware of that stable base formed by the triangle. And then be aware of your center, the solar plexus center. And take the arms peripherally, lightly up into the space above you. You have in this pyramid position a threefold structure: the firm base, the stretched out middle, and the light free upper region. Take your right arm out to the horizontal, and then stream actively out into the space. Keep breathing. Come back again to the middle, both arms, and stream out into the space on the other side. And return again. Let's do it a couple more times on each side so that we can consolidate our picture of firm base, active centrifugal streaming out into open space. Change again. Free breath also, firm base, growing out from the middle, streaming out into the vastness. And one more time on each side, even farther this time. Wide reaching arms, wide reaching spine, open side, streaming actively out. And back to the center, both arms up and out, and right out to the other side, streaming outwards, breath flowing. Back to the middle again, both arms up, and take the arms freely down through the air, roll down and hang forwards. And come back up once again. And take the hands down through the space around you. And close your legs. Let's just finish off by being aware of the spine. We've worked on two directions of movement, or two directions of energy, gathering in to form a good centered stability, and a dynamic streaming out to give more a sense of growth and aliveness. You can just be aware of your spine and with both of these potentials in it. And we'll finish the session there.